got to just chill out and focus on yourself. Like if you want to become, you may not know what you want to do at 18, 17 years old, and that's totally fine. It's about going to college, getting the experience, and then eventually you will have that click moment or that aha moment that says, you know what, I think I want to do this.
Hey everyone, so today we are going to be talking with admissions counselor Drew Curiel and hear his awesome college advice as well as his opinion on a gap year. So stay tuned.
Hello?
Hi,
What's up, Caitlin? How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is my work one, so I'm taking off the background for now.
Okay, cool.
What's up? I'm so glad that I got a chance to talk to you. I've been following you on Instagram, and I'm seeing everything that you're posting, and
Yeah,
you're actually following Gary Vee's kind of methods of what he wanted you to do. And it's dope to see. It's so dope.
yeah, for sure. Got to put it into action, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know today's May 1st, so I'm dealing with like all my students, like they want to get
Oh,
posted on
yeah.
Instagram with their college decision and everything. Have you made a decision, or you still
So
figuring?
I decided to commit to University of Vermont. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be going first year, if I'm going to be deferring and taking a gap year, but I
Okay.
definitely am going there at some point.
Okay, cool. So as long as you just got to defer your acceptance.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah. So how are you today?
I'm doing well. I run the social media for my admissions Instagram. Actually, how do I press record? Where we at? Oh, I got it.
Awesome.
It's going to request you.
So a lot of times it doesn't come up. I'm not actually sure how to do that, so I can just send the recording to you if that works.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so today's pretty busy in terms of, just helping students out. Like, hey, I submitted my deposit. Can you post me on Instagram? Like, I want to show everyone, kind of following like the peer pressures and everything that's going on. So we're just doing that, helping more students understand that we pushed our deadline back to June 1st, because obviously everything going on with COVID, we moved it back just to help a little bit more of the families and students in our market. We're in New York City. So it's a small liberal arts school. So a lot of our students come from the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, the neighboring boroughs. So it's a little bit tougher for them to commit as early without any financial security per se.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. That's definitely a smart approach to give some people some space and time to really make that decision. It's a really big one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. When it's 4 years of your life, like,
Yeah.
you got to make it so quick, and you see your friends posting, it's like, all right, I got to do it now.
Sure.
Everyone's different, so you got to take it to your own like pace, I guess.
Yeah. So you're a high school admissions or a college admissions counselor?
So I'm a college admission counselor.
Okay,
I work
that's
for
what I
the
thought.
College of Mount St. Vincent.
Nice. Very cool. Very nice.
That's why I related so much, because I saw you and I'm like, she's perfect. Like, she's talking about every high school student now. Like, this sucks. Like, I was just talking to a student out in Long Island, and he's like, yeah, like my high school just closed down for the year because Governor Cuomo just made a new announcement. And it's like, no prom, no graduation. So it's like, all right, now I got to worry about college. Like, nah, that's too much. So I try to be that bridge for the students, making that transition from high school to college, because I was there before. I went to Mount St. Vincent too. I'm an alum, and I just came back from getting my master's. So, like, I get it, and I try to relate as much as I can with them, because I was just in their shoes 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So what advice have you most been giving to kind of students who are in this position of trying to make such a big decision in the midst of a global pandemic?
So my number one advice is, you got to find your perfect fit. And I'm sure you've heard that before from all the colleges that either you applied to or, reached out to, or they reached out to you. It's just about finding your right fit. So unfortunately, a lot of high school seniors, when they go looking for colleges, they're kind of looking for some place that could call their home away from home in a sense. And right now you can't visit any schools. So my biggest piece of advice is, and what we've been doing, is providing online virtual tours through Instagram Live.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate. We have a current student tour guide. She's from Texas, and because of COVID, she can't go back home. So I'm asking her to work, and she's actually hosting tours this whole week. And it's actually been cool because we have a huge turnout of students, parents, and their families because they never visited our campus.
Yeah.
So that's one of my biggest advice. Reach out to schools, see what resources they have. And I've been seeing the market, the higher ed industry has been doing a great job transitioning and providing virtual content, providing virtual tours, virtual events, And it's been really great to see how quickly everyone's been adapting. So that's my one piece of advice. Look for the resources because they're all really there, and continue to communicate with your admission rep or anyone at the college to get accurate information and like a timeline of what's about to happen with everything going on in the world.
Totally. So for your normal advice of like, if Corona wasn't happening, how would you say people can find that right fit? Because I think a lot of times people, they talk about getting onto a campus and just knowing in that moment, this is where I'm supposed to be. But for the students who maybe don't have that experience, what advice would you give to kind of how do they know if a school is the right fit for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question because I had the aha moment too, like once I stepped foot onto campus, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But for those who may not have that feeling and might kind of be like on the fence, I would recommend going on social. I'm such a digital marketer in a sense. You can really tell the quality of a school by their social media presence as well as the content that they're posting. Of course, we've moved into the age of, it's not just a photo and a good caption that creates, traction on your social media platforms. It's the quality of the content and the consistency of the content. So that's my number one recommendation. Everyone lives on either one of the social media platforms, whether it may be Instagram, Twitter, Snap, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, TikTok too. And it's really seeing how engaged students are with the social media outlets that are represented by the college and what kind of content they're posting, because you could get a feel for that. You could get a more genuine feel over the sense of an email to try to garner your interest, or an open house. Of course, as an admission professional, our open house and our events on campus, we want to make them the best they can, right? And we want to show you the best image of our school. But how can you see the day-to-day activities of what a school is doing? On their social platforms, on their club platforms, and seeing what students are doing as well as the people behind those social platforms.
I love that piece of advice. And that's actually, I've asked a lot of questions. You can definitely, if you've talked to my high school admissions counselor, you know that I've been in their office asking 1,000,003 questions, and they're great, but I've never gotten that piece of advice. So I definitely thank you for that. And I think that definitely rings true as we're coming into this new age of technology and communication through social media. Keeping track of what that university is posting, I think, is a great way to get that authentic feel. So definitely love that.
Absolutely. Like even with that, we've it comes to a certain point, and obviously you've been in communication with your admission reps. Like, all right, great, I got all the information from you. There's nothing really else for us to really tell you at a certain point. So what I've been doing as well, we've had our students just talk to the incoming students. So literally connecting them on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. We have our Facebook pages, incoming students, things like that. And it's just an opportunity for incoming students to talk to current students. You don't want to talk to me anymore. Like I read your application, gave you the acceptance, you got financial aid. All right, now I want to know about student life. Where am I about to go? Where am I about to be a part of? And students really tell that story the best.
Oh, for sure. I love that. So kind of back to Corona, how are colleges really handling Corona and, the outbreak that is happening and what that means for college admission and for school in the fall?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll speak to my experience and what's going on in our school and what I've seen as well. In the higher ed industry, obviously, we're transitioning to online classes. And from my experience and seeing what's going on, they've transitioned so well. I remember when Corona first hit, it happened right before our spring break. And right before the spring break, we gave 2 days off for our faculty and administrators to learn how to teach online. They got trained, and also to give our students the opportunity to move off of campus. So I know all of higher ed, they've been doing that. In terms of fall, we're all preparing to be on campus, right? We want to look at the light at the end of the tunnel and say, we're going to have everyone on campus. And I'm sure every higher ed every higher ed institution is doing that as well. But it's also about being prepared for the worst as well. So we do have plans to teach online as well as have orientation online and have everything that encompasses your first year to be online, with the great hope of being on campus and giving you that great first year experience. Because that's really what makes it for a lot of students, being involved in clubs, housing, living on your own for the first time, things like that.
So are there any ways, with that worst case scenario, are there any ways that the college is trying to prepare to give students that authentic college experience from home?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our clubs and our student government has really been killing it online. They've been providing like online club meets, so kind of like meetups. So it's either like a Netflix party or like Kahoot games or like a virtual programming like this. Every week, our student government hosts, student government meetings on Wednesdays. So they still meet every week, just to gain that camaraderie, make sure students are still doing their due diligence for their clubs, and it's great to see that as well. During the summer, obviously no students on campus, but our support services, like our counseling services, our TRIO, our HEOP services are all offered online. And it's a really great resource because they're available on Google Hangouts. So literally anyone who's connected with our Mount St. Vincent email, they could get right to the service when they need it during the summer to adjust going into the fall. We've also, and I've seen in the higher ed industry as well, a lot of institutions are offering pass-fail options for classes, and they're extending the deadline to withdraw from classes as well. Because obviously it's a big adjustment, learning from home. You may not have Wi-Fi, computer, whatever it may be. So I've seen our college, I've seen a lot of other colleges do the same thing, which is really great for students because you don't want to give them any extra stress. They're really dealing with enough. So at least to give them the option to withdraw early at a later date or receive a pass fail, that's really good for them. And I've seen at the high school level too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's awesome perspective. And I think they're doing the best that they can and obviously trying to, like everyone, adapt to Corona. So I definitely appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my next question would be kind of transitioning off of the Corona subject. For students who are trying to find their major, who maybe don't know what they want to do, what advice would you give to them?
Number one is, like, I went into school as a nursing major because my mom wanted me to be it. And when I went in, I failed my major. I failed biology just because, too much transitioning. I was playing basketball, living on my own. I'm a mama's boy too, so it's just tough. My recommendation is, at least at our school, and I'm pretty sure it's at every other college as well, you can go into your first year being undeclared, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Of course, you try to keep up with the trends and keep up with the Joneses, like Gary Vee would say, but like, you got to just chill out and focus on yourself. Like if you want to become, you may not know what you want to do at 18, 17 years old, and that's totally fine. It's about going to college, getting the experience, and then eventually you will have that click moment or that aha moment that says, you know what, I think I want to do this. Or, you know what, I think because I had this experience, I think I want to start doing this a little bit. And I think that's so valuable to students to have that first year experience, gain everything they have about college, then confidently say, I think I want to do this. Because if not, you're kind of just going on a hunch. Like, all right, I did really well in science courses in high school. I passed all my AP exams. I want to do biology. Like, does that really make sense?
Yeah.
You want to do what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, leading up to, your big career.
For sure. And what would you find is the biggest struggle people have in college, and what advice would you have for someone to kind of combat that struggle?
I think the biggest struggle is two things: keeping up with trends, and then time management, of course. Keeping up with trends, similar to keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. You see so much on social, you see so much in your daily life. You would constantly say to yourself, you know what, why am I not where he is or where she is? Like, that's not your race. Like, that's not your life. Like, they're going at a different pace. They're going at their own, they're doing their own thing. And I think it's so important for young students to understand that everyone has a different life and everyone is running their own race. So don't fall for, everyone, oh, why is everyone taking this class at this time? Or why is this one living on campus and I'm not? Like, don't fall for that self-pity type of stuff. And then the second one is obviously time management. Obviously, leaving home, you gotta do your laundry, you gotta eat, you gotta work out, you gotta go to class, you gotta study. So I've seen that's the biggest adjustment. And for me too, like just coming from a single family household, my mom always made sure I was doing homework at a certain time, eating at a certain time, picking me up from practice. So that's the number one thing, understanding like, wow, I'm an adult, I live on my own, I got to figure out what works for me. Do I like to study in the morning, do homework at night? Do I like to work out in the middle of the day so I feel energy to go? Like, it's just about finding your own path to success in a way.
Yeah.
What works for you?
No, I like that. I like that a lot because I think it's such a big adjustment, and that can be really overwhelming because we've always had people kind of on our butt trying to get us to do this or that. But then when you have that freedom, it can be definitely a learning curve to figure out your flow and figure out what works for you. So
Yeah, absolutely. And with that learning curve, just like same thing, keeping up with the trends, people may adjust quicker, people may adjust slower, but it's no opportunity for you to say, oh, why am I not adjusting quicker? Or like, why didn't I get that? Like, it is what it is in a sense. They got their race, you got your own.
yeah. So what was your favorite part about college?
My favorite part was definitely, I was an athlete, so I played basketball with my team, and I think my freshman year was just awesome. Like I never played a usual basketball team should have 15 people at max. We had about 18, and I think about 12 or 13 of us were all freshmen.
Yeah.
So it was just a great opportunity to bond nonstop because we go to practice together, we're in class together, we go back to the dorm together, we eat together. So it was just 12 dudes just to bond with over time.
Yeah.
And then eventually, growing up too, sophomore, junior, senior year, and eventually playing our senior year together, just seeing, I guess, that fruition and kind of like that return on investment type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that was my favorite experience of college, just being a part of a community that was kind of like bigger than myself in a sense, and still having those relationships now. I think that's what's really huge for me that I look back on.
Yeah. So given all of that and your experience, what biggest advice would you have for someone entering college right now?
Biggest advice for someone entering college right now, whether you're an athlete or a regular student, I would definitely advise you just to go into college with an open mind. The course is always going to change because things are going to happen, just like COVID-19. So it's just about being willing to adjust as much as you can throughout college and being okay with that.
Yeah.
Being okay with adjustment and understanding things are going to change. The more adults regular continue to sulk and worry about what happened and not focus on adjusting and reacting to it, I think that's the biggest thing for students to understand. Like, all right, senior year of high school got killed. It is what it is. Yeah. But now, what are you going to do now? Well, are you going to go to college? You're going to take a gap year? Are you going to pick this major? Are you not? It's about just making a decision, going with the flow, and then if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, time to just do it again. So it's just about readjusting and reacting. College.
Love that. So speaking on that keyword, gap year, keywords, gap year, what advice would you have to someone who's considering a gap year, and what's your experience with that?
Yeah, so I've seen in the States, the gap year is just something that's not really huge. It's not, the trend. Of course, you see it with athletes sometimes, but specifically basketball players. They'll take a gap year to go to a prep school, get their grades up, be able to get more athletic, to go to a higher Division I school, whatever it may be. I got the opportunity after my senior year of college. Same thing. Look, senior year of college, I thought I was just going to get a job. Nope. An opportunity came for me to get my master's in Ireland and play professional basketball. Okay. Took it. Went. So I went and, getting to know my teammates, they were all in college. So 19, 20, 21. I'm 24. So talking to them about their college experience, just exchanging, thoughts and theories from them. The gap year over there is something that's actually, worked on. Like they do it over there. What they do is they'll go to high school, they'll take a gap year, work, literally do like manual labor or something like that. Because in Ireland, there's a lot of farms, construction, things like that. They'll work. And if they really enjoy their work, they won't go to college.
Yeah.
They'll just continue to work. So, asking them about it, a lot of them do take the gap year just to, de-stress from high school, just chill out, work, make some money, save up for college too. And then they'll go to college. So when I was hearing about it, a lot of my friends over there did it. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't sound bad to take a gap year,
Yeah.
And I related it back to myself because I kind of made my own gap year from college to the real world.
Yeah.
Because of course, everyone's everyone's like, all right, what are you gonna do after college? You got a job lined up, you got an internship, like it's about keeping up with the trends. And of course I could have fell into that, but with the opportunity presented, I just took it. And I was so, so grateful when I came back from Ireland because I noticed I still needed more college life in a sense. I still
Yeah.
needed, I still needed the opportunity to grow up. I still needed the opportunity to live on my own. And I still needed the opportunity to do something else education wise and then pursue my career goal. It was just another opportunity to be relaxed and not feel for the pressure of filling the status quo of getting a job and, doing all the stuff that I don't want to do yet, you know? And that year was awesome. I got a free master's. I played pro ball. I traveled all throughout Europe. Like that gap year was awesome.
Yeah. No, and I love that idea of kind of staying in your own bubble in a way and staying online with your own journey and your own path, because I think especially where we are and with the prevalence of social media, it can be so easy to fall prey to kind of what everyone else is doing and feel like you have to follow that same path. And I think it's really interesting and honestly really wise of other countries to promote this gap year, because I think in America it's seen as something that's very lazy to do, when in fact it can be like, of course, if you're staying, there's very different types of gap years. If you're staying at home playing video games is very different than working and traveling. But of course, I think like planning your own path is something I think people should be encouraged to do in America more, be it a gap year going straight to college or taking that gap year after college. I think it's a really valuable perspective to just say, you know what, I'm going to stay in my lane and have that self-awareness to say, this is what I need, or this is what I don't need, and this is the path I'm going to forge because I've had that self-awareness to know what I need.
100%, 100%. I've seen kids my age when I was a freshman go to college just because, mom, dad wanted them to go, or I don't got nothing else to do, or they haven't thought about what they want to do with their time. So it's kind of like, just that self-awareness, like understanding what you need for your life. And of course, you may not know at 17, 18. So you know what? It's a great opportunity to take a year just to think and try and taste new things. Why not?
Love that. Definitely. Well, this has been so much fun talking with you. And I just offer you the opportunity to really, if you have any last thoughts or pieces of wisdom that you'd want to share, now's the time. So I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Caitlin, thank you, first of all, for inviting me on. Appreciate it. Just like Gary said, you're going to win at life. Just continue to be yourself. Continue to be yourself, because that always rises to the top. For all the high school seniors deciding whether you want to go to college or defer or take a gap year, whatever it may be, do what's really best for yourself. I know you have friends. I know you have friend groups that are doing what they have to do. Please understand that is what they have to do for their life and their situation. Everyone's situation is different. And if you continue to focus on yourself, your values, what you want to do in life, you will succeed and ultimately pick the right thing for you to do in life.
Totally. Love that. Thank you so much again for meeting with me. And I definitely look forward to connecting more.
Yeah, no worries. I'll connect with you on LinkedIn, and then I have you on Instagram already.
Great. Can't wait. You have an awesome day. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Kate. Keep doing your thing, all right?
Thank you. I will. All right.